Mayor Doherty stated Councilmember Janine Bell Smith wanted to go back to the way things were pre-COVID. Those were my words, not hers. For the caucus meeting, said she would like the council to sit at the table on the floor and not televise the meetings. Mayor Doherty said Ms. Smith said this would open up communications. So just a change in the wording there to clarify who said what.
Also, we had addressed public comments that Mr. Baker was to write something for us. That everybody,
Did you send him what you had? You were going to send him something that he was going to review.
I didn't, I vaguely, I didn't send that in. I definitely would have had I known that was my responsibility.
Okay.
But as I mentioned earlier about a different way to do the meetings to where we go into what I know Mike has a copy of this, and read this over, where we have a different ways to.
So we can talk about that later in the meeting. We can talk about that. Right now, we're on the minutes.
Yeah, we kind of went with this too at the time.
We're
okay.
talking about the minutes. We can talk about
Okay.
that because I have something to bring about the caucus later.
Okay.
So this is just about approval of the minutes.
Okay.
Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the July 20 minutes as amended.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Janine Bell Smith,
Yes.
Mark Wittenberger.
Yes.
Don Kiley,
Yes.
Jeff Smith,
Yes.
Bob Miller,
Yes.
Marilyn McGowan.
Yes.
Thank you. Fire Authority's report. Chief Wayne?
I'll be very, very brief. 69 fire calls for July, 368 year-to-date, 95 ambulance calls, 724 year-to-date. Update on the building. Century is in the process of closing everything out. We did identify a few items that needed repair, and they got on very quickly. So right now, we're waiting on an SB1 issue that's been unresolved for a year. And when that gets resolved, everything should be closed out. One thing you'll notice on the report that's different is engine 503 is listed with the ambulances. We've changed, if a dispatch comes in as someone has fallen but not injured, we now send the engine instead of the ambulance. That frees up the paramedics and the ambulance crew. Recently, we've been getting multiple 2, 3, sometimes 4 ambulance calls at the same time. That way, when we send the engine, they can assess the patient, pick them up, put them back in a chair, put them back in bed. If they're not injured, then it doesn't cause any harm. If they assess the patient, decides they need to go to the hospital, then the ambulance comes out.
And just for clarity, there are EMTs on the engine.
Yes. So everyone now that works is either a paramedic, EMT, or a EMT firefighter. So it's covered that way 100%. And we did the old staff vehicle, the 2008. The fire authority decided that it was best that it would be donated to a rural fire department in Kentucky that has no vehicles at all. That transfer did take place this afternoon.
Anything for the chief? Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief Hall.
Good evening, everyone. For July, we had 1,597 calls for service. For dispatch calls, 53% was in Villa Hills and 47% were in Crescent Springs. We had 10 crimes, 22 traffic collisions, issued 79 citations, 99 warnings, 60 call responses, 9 domestic reports, and 1 crisis intervention. Provided the map for if anybody has any questions about the map and where collisions or citations were issued or taken. Sergeant Detective Lucas, again, you see a breakdown of his cases in the report that I provided. A couple big things is that he was able to identify 2 suspects in 2 different cases, and warrants have been issued for them. And he's currently working a sexual assault case involving a minor. So he does stay, like I said, I say it every month, he does stay very busy with this caseload. The Villa Hills K-9 Monthly had 4 deployments. He's credited with 3 arrests, 3 charges, and 2 no-bite apprehensions. He had 9 hours of training. Our overtime for the month was a total of 31 hours, 6 of that was in court, 8 hours was with the U.S. Marshals at their request. Shift coverage was 4 hours of late calls, 2 hours for field training, and then we had qualifying with our weapons, and that cost 8 hours of overtime in our overtime. A couple announcements that we have. September 13th, Saturday morning, is the Tunnels to Tower race. Just everyone be prepared that we will have roadway shut down. 1 lane of buttermilk going down Collins to Amsterdam, Amsterdam to River Ridge, and returns. That race usually brings in between 600 and 700 walkers and runners. The roadway is scheduled to shut down at 0800 hours and will be open by 10 o'clock in the morning. So it's a 2-hour break. So we will facilitate people in and out of the cities just to make sure that we have officers at every intersection, every roadway. That way we can have the walkers and runners be as safe as possible. And the last thing that I have is that we do have an officer that is retiring from the police department. September 1st, Officer Robbins is retiring after his years of service, and he's taken another position in the private sector field. So we wish him well in his retirement.
Great. Any questions, Chief Hall?
Thanks, Chief.
Thanks, Chief. Director Miller.
Good evening. I'll be brief as well. Just a few updates. Obviously, I'm not sure if you've guys seen, but the playground equipment is going in right now. They've been working pretty hard, late hours, and it seems like everything is going smoothly at this point. We had some personnel updates. We had the opening for the full-time public works, and we got two applications, so I'm hoping to start interviews in the next couple weeks. And then just some ongoing and upcoming projects. The Sons of American Revolution Memorial Bench, the footer was installed a few weeks ago, and they're hoping to have the dedication around November the 8th. The 695 Ferncliff Drain is underneath our city engineer right now to study to see what we can do to make that drain better back in Old Crescent Springs. Street cleaning will be in September, and we have a few park maintenance projects that we're going to complete. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question or some information. I see we're talking about new maintenance alert, and that is called the manhole on Robin Crescent Springs Road in Short Amsterdam.
Yes.
Is that the SD1?
No, so that is the State Department.
That's the State Department?
Yes.
I've done a little investigating on that, which we are permitted to do, and talked to somebody there who's very knowledgeable. I said, would you please take care of that? Because it was I feel like a little roller coaster right
Yes.
there, I'm talking about. And so that's a state issue.
Yes.
Do you have a timeline on when they're going to take care of that?
So I do not have a timeline. I was told that it is on their schedule to be fixed, but they would not give me a timeline on
Would
that.
that be District 6?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then I'm guessing another, just as Rick's Way, could you explain about Rick's Way? It's going up to the park, because I sent a picture where it was falling apart and crumbling.
Yes, so the sidewalk right there, I believe
Yeah,
is what
we
you
saw
said.
it, yeah.
Yes, yes. So we cleaned up the little bit of, there were some pebbles and things
I
there.
noticed, yeah.
Yeah, so we got that all cleaned up, and if there's a trip hazard right there, then we'll definitely put that in the budget.
In the rain, if it's muddy, I've had people just give me, I was going to say, oh, I was trying to, if it's raining, you got to walk out into the street, which is very dangerous. And of course, very lastly, I will mention this again, what we're going to do is Short Amsterdam, and the patchwork is just failing.
And the same thing I told you last
I'm not
month,
going to repeat it every.
and I'm going to repeat it the same thing, so we can
Just
move,
so
we
my-
can
so we
move on.
know all those neighborhoods,
We can move on.
that use Short Amsterdam. Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan.
So in the mayor's report, we've talked about the park progress. It is the 25th of August. We have been given a very broad, because it's weather dependent on such, mid to late September, and it'll all be done. Playground equipment will be in. The fence might not be up, that's still being scheduled, but it'll be operational at that time. Once we get a firm date, we'll put something together to have a grand opening of the playground. Regarding the park, there is that green space next to the playground that is, that was part of our playground when it was all spread out to much larger footprint. We have that area there. We have a committee from 2 years ago that, I think, Don, you're the chairperson of that? So what I would like is council or residents to give some ideas to Don, at the next caucus, so we can discuss them at the next council meeting. I know the one that I've heard from several people is pickleball. I don't play, but it seems like a whole lot of people do. So that's an idea. I've had a council member tell me maybe pickleball for the summer and ice skating rink in the winter somehow. I don't know if that's feasible. Just don't know if that's doable. I used to play hockey. Skating's fun. So again, I don't know if feasible, not feasible. Those are the two ideas that I've been told. So get with Don Kiley, pass on some ideas that we might have to finish that whole area up there and make the park even better. Fall Fest is...
I asked a question about how the payment will occur to basically pay for the playground equipment that's just been installed. I did go up there yesterday. It was very nice. I took some pictures. But how will the payment plan work?
We've already paid.
You've already paid?
Yes, and then we get reimbursed by the state for the grants.
Okay, what is the exact number that we sent to Miracle Recreation?
I don't have that number in front of me. It was
505.
505,000, I think. Sounds about right.
That sounds right. We have that posted. Because I remember seeing that number, but I wasn't aware of how it was going to be paid.
I believe
They've
it's
already been paid.
It's already paid, and then we're going to be putting in our reports to the state to get our money back.
Let me ask you this though, and April might know, how long does it take for the state to respond to these payments that will be sending in? Is it quarterly?
Quarterly reports are required for the grant.
Yeah.
So when I submit the first quarterly report, then they're pretty quick with giving us the
They
reimbursement.
get right back with you.
Yes, they do.
Thank you.
Back to my reports. Fall Fest, September 20th, 5 to 9 at the park. We have, as you can see, some new video screens here. So if somebody has something to present to council, it'll be shown behind us, and then also so the residents and anybody attending can see the screen back there. There'll be simulcasting on that. We have and it's being tested right now, a new way to broadcast meetings. We're testing that tonight. We'll see how that goes. We'll watch it tomorrow or the next day and check out about sound and all that kind of stuff before we turn it on live for everybody. Lastly, to go to the caucus, we have a short vacation scheduled at the beginning of the month, and my flight was going to come back before the meeting, and now it's not. So I've asked Mr. Mueller if he could run the meeting, the caucus. That is something the council will have to decide. I have asked Mr. Mueller if he would do it, and he said yes. But since we did not officially name anybody in the beginning of the year, it is something council will have to decide at the beginning of that meeting. Whoever's running the meeting can decide whether you all sit up here at the desk and that, or if we go back to the format that the council used for, I don't know, probably decades, of a U-shaped table down on the floor. Either one is fine. I'll leave that up to Mr. Daly to talk with people and figure out what's best for that. And that's all I have. Any questions?
What's that Fall Fest date, Mayor?
September 20th, 5 to 9.
I do want to compliment the podium is off to the side as opposed to the middle, but the speaker will they'll have their back.
We have a camera here
Yeah.
so that we can show that. Because remember, when people speak, they address council. So
I like it.
so whether it's in the middle or to the side, it doesn't matter because they're addressing us. But we have a camera there for that purpose.
Okay, thanks for the clarification.
Mhm. Next, old business. Second reading ordinance 2025-7.
And let me, before I read, apologize to everybody in advance if anybody can't hear me, which is usually not the issue. I had COVID last week, and I'm sort of wearing this as a matter of precaution because I don't want to infect any of you old people.
And I'm old.
So am I. So April's safe.
Yes.
This is ordinance 2025-7, ordinance of the City of Crescent Springs, Kentucky, amending ordinance number 2021-14 regarding the policy governing the inspection of public records of the City of Crescent Springs, Kentucky. Whereas in conformity with KRS 61.870-61.884 as amended, the City of Crescent Springs adopted ordinance number 2021-14, wherein the city adopted a policy regarding the inspection of public records of the City of Crescent Springs, Kentucky, and whereas City Council now desires to amend that policy. Now therefore be it ordained by the Mayor and the City Council of the City of Crescent Springs, Kentucky, that the procedures and rules governing the inspection of public records of the City of Crescent Springs, Kentucky is hereby amended. The policy from the enactment of this ordinance is that elected officials who are holding office at the time of the request for inspection of public records shall not be charged for copies of city records requested in their official capacity.
Thank you, sir. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Any
May I?
questions?
Can you define official capacity? Mr.
For your use, not for you to give to other people, it's for your review
Yeah, to
for,
investigate, research, and
What-
comprehend.
whatever.
Thank you, because
Yep.
yes, I've been using that frequently.
anything else? If not, I'll take a motion to approve.
I'll motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Janine Bell Smith,
Yes.
Mark Wartenberger,
Yes.
Don Kiley,
Yes.
Jeff Smith,
Yes.
Bob Mueller,
Yes.
Carol McGowan.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Second reading ordinance 2025-8, authorizing the mayor to enter into a statewide emergency management mutual aid and assistance agreement.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance number 2025-8, an ordinance of the City of Crescent Springs, Kentucky, authorizing the mayor to enter into the statewide emergency management mutual aid and assistance agreement. Whereas an agreement has been proposed between local entities throughout the Commonwealth of Kentucky and the Commonwealth of Kentucky, in which parties agree that Kentucky is geographically vulnerable to a variety of emergencies and disasters. And whereas the Commonwealth has requested that each local entity share aid and assistance in cases of disaster or emergency that impact communities throughout the Commonwealth. And whereas pursuant to KRS 65.210 et sec, a local entity may enter into a mutual aid and assistance agreement which includes provisions for the furnishing and exchanging of supplies, equipment, facilities, personnel, and services. And whereas a proposed agreement has been submitted to Crescent Springs for its consideration, to join with other cities and local entities with regard to the statewide emergency management mutual aid and assistance agreement. Now therefore be it ordained by the mayor and the city council of the City of Crescent Springs, Kentucky, that the mayor is hereby authorized to enter into, on behalf of the City of Crescent Springs, Kentucky, the statewide emergency management mutual aid and assistance agreement proposed by the Commonwealth. Said agreement is incorporated by reference as if fully set forth herein.
Thank you, sir. This, to remind everybody, this is what Chief Wentman talked about at the last meeting. Director Hensley also supports this. This is so that if we have a disaster, we can get aid, and if one of our neighbors, no matter where they are in the state, if they need something that we have, we can help them. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Janine Bell Smith,
Yes.
Mark Wartenberger,
Yes.
Don Kiley,
Yes.
Jeff Smith,
Yes.
Bob Mueller,
Yes.
Carol McGowan.
Yes.
Thank you very much. New business. Is there any other old business before I move on?
I got one thing.
Yes, sir.
The water main break behind Arby's, could we ever receive any kind of reimbursement from SD or someone else?
I think it was all us, but I know Mike was gonna check into something, and unfortunately,
Mike said that it was, they might cover half of it.
he had a family emergency today, and so I can't answer that question.
I know the city engineer had applied for it, he's working on it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just through like the regular, like, aid help out. So anything you kind of do that for.
Right, so they'll, SD1 will do things like that to help cities out, so we're
Yeah.
hopeful, but I don't know for sure what the status of that is. There are no other old business, new business. Ordinance 2025-9, adopting the supplemental from American Legal Publishing.
Ordinance 2025-9, an ordinance of the City of Crescent Springs, Kentucky, adopting the 2025 S34 supplement from American Legal Publishing Corporation of Cincinnati, Ohio, of the Code of Ordinances to the City of Crescent Springs, Kentucky. Whereas the City of Crescent Springs, Kentucky is contracted to have its Code of Ordinances supplemented by all ordinances of a general nature enacted since the last prior supplement to the Code of Ordinances up through Ordinance 2024-5, which was enacted on September 10th, 2024. And whereas American Legal Publishing Corporation has completed the revision of the ordinances known as 2025 S34 supplement. Now therefore be it ordained by the City of Crescent Springs, Kentucky, Section 1, that the 2025 S34 supplement to the Code of Ordinances of the City of Crescent Springs, Kentucky be and the same is hereby adopted by reference as if set forth in its entirety. Section 2, that this ordinance shall take effect and be in full force from and after its date of passage, approval, and publication according to law. Section 3, all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, to the extent of such conflict, are hereby repealed.
Thank you. Just as a reminder, this is an annual housekeeping thing to publish our ordinances. It's a first reading. There's no action needed tonight.
May I ask the charge or the fee to use these services?
April, do you know what we pay for that?
It depends on how many ordinances you have that they have to go through. Yeah, I think this one was $700, I'm not sure. But it varies depending on how many ordinances, and this is required by law.
Well, I understand, but I just thought I know there was to be a fee attached to it.
Yes.
That kind of would help, because this is expensive. I think these people do a lot of excellent work.
Mayor, is the supplement or April, is it very long? Is it very many pages?
We only had 5 ordinances, I believe, last year, so there wasn't a whole lot.
Is anybody going to copy of those or is it?
It's basically the ordinances that you approved,
You said last year?
or last year's ordinances that were approved.
And this
That's
is,
all it is.
This is to publish them in the manner that we have to. So there's no new ordinances added to it or anything, it's just a conglomeration of them, putting them all together.
You can get to it from our website.
Okay.
It's the Code of Ordinances.
Right.
It takes you to American Legal, and that's where it's codified. It's all in there.
Just be all last year.
Do you know the?
If you really want a copy of each ordinance from last year, just drop me a note.
Yeah, but I just, I wanted to see, she said it was from last year, I wasn't in on it, so I just would like to see.
Sure.
But I can go online and check it out. Thank you.
Ms. Smith, what were you saying?
I was just asking the fee that was charged last year for 5, and April, we said we have to look that up.
I think it was around $700. I'm not sure.
700 for 5. Thank you.
Next item is ordinance 2025-10. This is setting the tax rates.
Ordinance 2025-10, an ordinance of the City of Crescent Springs, Kentucky, providing for the assessment of real estate and personal tangible property within the corporate limits of the City of Crescent Springs, Kentucky, and levying an ad valorem tax on each $100 of assessed valuation of said property in the city for the fiscal year 2025-2026, and specifying the purpose for which the tax is levied. Be it ordained by the City of Crescent Springs, Kentucky, Section 1, an ad valorem tax is hereby assessed and levied for the fiscal year 2025-2026 against all real estate within the corporate limits of the City of Crescent Springs, Kentucky, at the rate of $0.186 on each $100 evaluation as assessed January 1st, 2025, and against all tangible personal property at the rate of $0.197 on each $100 evaluation as assessed January 1st, 2025, to be collected as provided by law in the existing ordinances of the City of Crescent Springs, Kentucky. City tax bills are due October 31st, 2025. Any bill in an amount of less than $1 will be waived by the city, and no such bill need be sent to any taxpayer. Section 2, the ad valorem tax is levied to pay the general cost of carrying on the business of the government of the city as provided in the adopted budget. Section 3, all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith are to the extent of such conflict, if any, are hereby repealed.
Thank you, sir. As you know, this is our annual process we go through. We had to wait for us to get the rates. So the real estate tax rate stays exactly the same. I'm not proposing taking the compensating rate plus 4 as we're adopted by law, holding the rate the same. That happens to be exactly what the compensating rate is. It's exactly what it was last year on real estate. Personal tangible, I believe it's up 2 cents on the tangible. I believe 0.02. Again, that's for the compensating rate only, not increase. That's just to keep everything just the way they are.
So I'm just for point of reference then, this .186, that is the compensating rate of 4%.
It is not 4%. It is the compensating rate. It's to bring, the compensating rate is to bring in the exact amount of money this year as we got last year.
So
This year, it happens to be the exact same rate as we paid last year.
No, it's less. It's less than last year, by, it was 1.9 something. The total dollar would be the same, but it's actually less.
April, I think you said it was the same.
No, it's the same.
Unless we changed it.
It's right.
I was
The
just
rate was
spoke.
186.
I spoke the 193.
No, so it went down.
Yeah. So, I mean, semantics, but yeah.
Right, it's pennies.
What,
No.
unless we changed it.
Yeah,
The last second.
that can't be right.
Yeah, 193. No, we're losing the year.
Last year, this was adopted, but it was changed after the reading.
No, okay, that's what I was going to
And I don't know what that
It's
is.
staying second reading.
Mayor, what was the .02?
Right in the website.
The change on of the tangible property tax, yeah.
Both the first and the second readings on that were the exact same thing. The rate was changed in between readings, is that
It was
correct?
changed at the council meeting
That's my recollection.
because the council voted not to move up.
Okay.
If that was on our website, then it wasn't updated. It was put on there for the public before the reading happened. And I never went back and, must not went back and changed it.
So was it less?
And it's exactly the same.
It's the same rate as last year.
The rate's the same. Not the compensating.
The rate is the same. So again, there's no action on this. Now, we do have to have a second reading on this. I'm not going to meet the caucus. We can have a special meeting before the caucus so we can get tax bills out. Is that what council would like to do?
Wait, what, like, make sure you do next time?
At the end of September, because we have to mail it and give time for the mail to get out there. We don't like to give residents, 15 days to.
I'm out of town next week, so.
But you'll be out for the caucus
I said I'm out of town next week.
next week?
Yeah.
So you'll be here for the caucus. We can have a special meeting before
For the caucus. Yeah, we'll just do it on the same meeting day. We'll just have
It
it.
would be the
Right.
following Monday.
It'd be the 8th. We'll double check with everybody's schedule and see if we can do it that day.
Let's do it before the caucus.
Yeah. Thank you. Any committee reports?
I would like to suggest that we have a communication and transparency committee scheduled
I will try to get one in.
in September.
I will try to get one in, yes, ma'am.
I'll be waiting, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So just one for safety, Villa Hills is moving forward with the camera, the vision system,
Okay.
next month, right, Chief?
That's correct.
Yeah, so.
Any other committee reports? Anybody from the audience like to speak?
I thought I'd just follow up.
I fail to do this on a regular basis. Can you identify yourself and where you live, please? I should have done that a long time ago.
Who are you?
Who are you, Claire?
Well, I wanted to follow up on what, if anything, was discussed about the problem that we have over in back of our condo building, about that water that runs through.
I was not there. I think Mr. Daly went out there with our city engineer, and for me to say anything would be, I would give Mr. Daly a call in a day or two.
Is what?
Give Mr. Daly a call in a day or two.
Okay.
Because he was the one from the city that was there with the engineer. I just don't have any information to tell you.
Yeah, okay, because
Yeah, call Mike. He'll talk to you and let you know, because I just unfortunately don't have any information.
Yeah, well, good, thank you. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay,
Claire, I'd follow up as well, and I'll try to get with you on that as well.
okay, sounds good, thank you.
I would like to mention a new business that showed up on our website, or I should say on Facebook, the Balloon Station. I went in there for a party. My daughter retired from the military for 20 years. They had anything you would need related to balloons and parties. And on top of it, the wife, there's a husband and wife team that owns it, and they offer a military discount.
What a deal.
So we got a good business, and I hope people will patronize them.
Fantastic.
Across the street from McDonald's on Hazelwood.
Anybody else like to speak? And just for the record, this is Bob Flaherty from the Crossings area.
Thank you. I do like the placement of the lectern. It might be able to be moved a little bit further to the left, although I can see while looking. I would like to, with your permission, pass out a flyer or I guess a document on the organization of a mayor council plan. Okay, who is at the top of that mayor council plan?
The voters, what's your point, Mr. Flaherty?
I'll get to it, Mayor. Okay? The voters are at the top. And I was very disappointed with the Public Works Chairperson and Councilperson McGowan at the last July 28th meeting. And I would encourage everybody to go on Facebook and look at that meeting. She basically indicated or said about meetings at 6 o'clock, where's our audience? Nobody's there, indicating that having meetings at noon or other times is not a problem. That's true, but actions seem to be taken to limit or not accommodate people coming to the meetings. Most of these committee meetings are held before 5 o'clock. Most people in our city and in the United States work from 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. There is a state statute, which I'll read to you, which is a schedule of regular meetings to be made available. It's a state statute KRS 61.820 regarding schedule of regular meetings to be made available. Item 1, all meetings...
Mr. Flaherty, you keep glaring at Ms. McCowan. I'd appreciate it if you'd address everybody on council.
Well, I don't agree with you. I was looking at Mr. Colley, I looked at Mr. Mueller, at Mr. Smith, Ms. Smith, so I don't agree with you. And I looked at you too. So I'll be happy to look at other people. And I disagree with you, I'm not glaring at
Well,
anybody. Your
we
opinion-
can
your
agree to
opinion, of
disagree.
course. Okay.
It's okay, Mike, don't worry about it.
Okay. All meetings of all public agencies of this state and any committees or subcommittees thereof shall be held at specified times and places which are convenient to the public. In considering locations for public meetings, the agencies shall evaluate space requirements, seating capacity, and acoustics. Item 2, all public agencies shall provide for a schedule of regular meetings by ordinance, order, resolution, bylaws, or by whatever other means may be required for the conduct of business of that public agency. The schedule of regular meetings shall be made available to the public. Some of the meetings are to be determined or as needed. I don't know if that violates the statute or not. I know that's your opinion, Mr. Baker, but I would wonder what the Attorney General's opinion would be.
Submit it and see what he says.
Okay, I will.
Because if it's not a regularly scheduled meeting, it's then defined as a special meeting, which there seems to be confusion about the word special. A special meeting has its own requirements and publishing requirements.
Well, if I read it correctly, it doesn't say special meeting, it says as needed. That's on the website. It doesn't say special meeting.
I'm going to suggest to you, if it says as needed when one is called, it's going to be a special meeting. Now, you can ask the Attorney General his opinion, I'll be happy to review it.
Okay, I'll do that. Secondly, meetings do need to accommodate the residents in our city and not have meetings in the mornings or early afternoons.
That is not a requirement of the statute.
Well,
I actually read that statute today, so
it does say
you can argue about what's
It
convenient.
does say regular scheduled meetings, and if you'll let me get to my next comment, you should allow residents to speak at meetings. And again, there's another statute which I assume you...
I can tell you specifically that's not a requirement of the statute.
What is?
That residents be allowed to speak at meetings. They're allowed to attend and to observe. They are not guaranteed the right to speak.
I understand that, but there is an Attorney General opinion that recommends that the council and the legislative body establish procedures to allow people to speak, even though there's no obligation or requirement. And I'll read statute 61.840. It says, no condition other than those required for the maintenance of order shall apply to the attendance of any member of the public at any meeting of a public agency. Doesn't say people cannot speak.
You are correct on that, and what that statute's really is saying is you cannot require people to, I'll use the term, sign in for any meeting. They're allowed to attend. They're allowed to observe.
I'll read this sentence again. No condition other than those required for the maintenance of order shall apply to the attendance of any member of the public at any meeting of a public agency.
Bob, I think that's what I just said.
Well, I didn't understand it that way. Sorry. No person may be required to identify himself in order to attend any such meeting, which you just require us to identify ourselves.
Not to attend.
No person may be required to identify himself in order to attend any such meeting.
Correct. I did not ask you.
So why are you requiring me to identify myself?
Because I think it's good. I think it's good for council to know who is speaking.
So you're placing a
Speaking is
requirement for me to
different.
speak.
Speaking is different than attending. Now, maybe you don't think so, but that I'm parsing words.
You are.
But attendance is quite different than wishing to participate by opening your mouth. And I'm not saying that pejoratively. I'm saying it is common courtesy, if nothing else.
So I'll ask you as an attorney, are you requiring me to identify myself to speak?
It
Is that a requirement?
It is the option of the presiding officer of whether it's council, it's the mayor, or a committee meeting, or any public meeting.
Where's that in a statute or in an ordinance? Are you just making that up?
You just read it. I'm not making it up. It's to maintain order.
I have to identify myself to speak and
And
maintain
if
order?
that is the view of the presiding officer, yes, I'm saying that.
That's absurd. All agencies shall provide meeting room conditions, including adequate space, seating, and acoustics, which insofar as feasible allow effective public observation of public meetings. All agencies shall permit news media coverage, including but not limited to recording and broadcasting. And I'll refer you to 95 Open Meetings Decision -99 of the Attorney General. And you are correct. While members of the public have the statutory right to attend all public meetings and to observe with their eyes and ears what transpires at those meetings, the Open Meetings Act does not grant those persons the right to participate in the meeting and address during the meeting the members of the public agency. However,
Bob, think about this for a second. Now, we're a small city, okay? And you are rarely, if ever, denied the opportunity to address council. But put yourself, I'm not even going to go down to Louisville or Lexington. I'm going to go down to Covington. You know, if you have 50 people show up at a council meeting in a city of, what, 25,000, do you think all 50 have the right to speak? I'm going to suggest to you that is not the case. That is why the statute does not require participation. There has to be order.
I understand that, but my point is,
Well,
the
yeah,
Finance Committee
that's why
chair allows people to speak. The mayor, which I appreciate, allows comments from the residents. The caucus meeting, at the caucus meeting, you're allowed to comment. The Public Works Committee is the only committee where you're not allowed to comment. The only one. And as this opinion of the Attorney General says, it is hoped that such rules will include procedures permitting members of the public to address the public agency. And there was a motion made at the last meeting. Unfortunately, I was in Florida attending a funeral, and I got COVID on the way back.
God bless you, sir. I'm glad to see you here.
Yeah, but I took Paxlovid, which was pretty good. I don't know if you took that.
I'm not allowed to take that, unfortunately, for other reasons.
Well, it worked pretty good for me. So my point is that although there's no obligation to allow residents to speak, and the state of Kentucky agrees with that, I personally think it borders on a violation of First Amendment rights. Nevertheless, I ask the Public Works Committee to allow citizens to comment at meetings, and at the very least, well, in addition, set up procedures to allow comment. Another question I have is, what is the compensating rate? I don't believe that it's .186 because you had over $46,000 in additional revenue.
The compensated rate as provided to us is .186.
46,000.
In additional revenue, I don't know how much you can hit of that was from the new residents or the new development where you got additional tax revenue. So you had to get some additional tax revenue. So explain to me what the compensating rate is.
The compensating rate takes into account all the properties, real and tangible, that were on last year's tax rolls. So all the money that you bring in the prior year, they go through a formula process in order to figure the rates so that you get the same amount of money coming in. That does not include the new properties that were added this year. That would be an additional amount of money.
Well, I thought the compensating rate includes the additional assessment plus the new revenue. That's the compensating rate. So I don't know how you can have the same rate. I mean, I appreciate it. I'm glad my taxes aren't going up. But I disagree with you, and I'll do some research on that about the
We
compensating.
do not set that rate. That rate is from the ads district.
The Mark Kentucky Ag District figures the rates, not me.
Well, I guess I can file an open records request to get that from you, right? Which I will do.
It's the same way every year.
Compensating rate's not the
No,
same.
it's
The
given
way
to
you
us.
figure it
It's
is.
given to us.
I understand now, Mark. I've been involved in finance committee for 20 years. You don't have to tell me that. Okay, and I would encourage everybody to go to the public hearing of the Kent County Planning Commission meeting in September, where they're discussing the 17 townhouse units that are going on Ireland Avenue. You know, not you all, but most of you campaigned on problems with traffic. And it seems like every time you turn around, you're approving additional development that adds more traffic to Buttermilk Pike.
Well, you're putting the cart before the horse there. There's a
But
process.
you're an attorney. You have no right to address me
I
if
have
it's
the right
not
to
legal.
correct your legal conclusion. You certainly have the right to show up at the council.
That's not a legal
That's fine.
conclusion. It's not a legal conclusion that if you build more properties, you're gonna put traffic on Buttermilk Pike. That's not legal at
I
all.
think your conclusion is that the planning commission approves it, it's automatically approved, and I'm suggesting to you that's.
That's not my conclusion. That's your conclusion. I am asking people to go to that meeting to voice their opinion. Doesn't mean it's precluded as a decision or not. Council is the one that makes the final decision. And I urge you to review that plan, because you only have 21 days now because of the new Z21 regulation, which you approved. So you all campaigned on, not you all, some of you didn't, but campaigned on the traffic issue on Buttermilk Pike, and you want to do something about it. But in my opinion, you're doing nothing about it. You keep approving all these developments. It's got to stop.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else like to speak?
May I address the council?
Sure.
First of all, the statements made by Mr. Flaherty when I stated where's the attendance at the meeting. It was a 6 o'clock meeting. We had nobody in attendance except public officials, police. I believe the fire chief left at the time. And that was after the so-called work hours at a 6 o'clock meeting. In response to what our attorney stated on meetings, as far as needed, some meetings, that's when they have them, as needed. Unfortunately, when they are as needed, they have to be declared a special meeting if they're not within a schedule. And then as far as a committee being an agency, a committee, in my opinion, correct me if I'm wrong, is part of an agency. I'm not an agency, my committee is not an agency. And at committee meetings, we don't make any official decisions. We recommend to council what has been said, what we might think should be done or not done, and council decides. And at council, we can have the input of anybody, such as we had tonight or other times, to have input on a decision that's going to be made or not made. Thank you.
Watch the video. Your mom.
Mr. Flaherty, please.
I said it, I'm not denying it.
Ms. Gowan, please. I don't want to argue back and forth.
I get it, I'm sorry.
Any other residents' comments?
Yeah, may I address the issue about the meeting schedule that was in the newsletter? I think we should have meetings scheduled regularly and given times. That way we can get together and have more information and talk about what we need to talk about, what we don't know, what we need to know. And as I have given you a copy of my information about the different ways and schedules and meetings that we could make that probably would unify us and get us together and work as a team rather than, I think there's a lot of animosity for some reason. You all feel it, I'm sure you do. I've given you this, and it came, my documentation was missed during council meetings, and this was the one where you would use proposed study groups or committee of the whole. And I've read this before for the record. Would you like to read it, Mr. Baker, for the record? And also the reason why, and my last paragraph was the reason why.
If it's already in the record once, it doesn't need to be read again.
We need to find out where it is, but I would say first and foremost, I'm going to talk about why these study sessions and committee of the whole is better than what we're doing now. It seems like it's just not very personal. And of course, if we go down to and sit at the table and chairs, as I had here and previously done, I was not aware of that. Hopefully, we can get together and have some connection with each other and say, this is how you feel, I feel, and that's a good thing. But the strong leadership, it's not about empowering all members to freely open and express their concern. It is about, empowering all members to freely and openly express their concerns, creating a healthy culture with benefits. They created a healthy, positive culture, values collaboration, prioritizes communication and positive interaction among all council members, and we need that desperately. And I would like to have this posted, this study, about the study sessions and about the committee as a whole. And it is going to be something new. I hope we do go to this. And as you said earlier, new things are hard, like we talked about the garbage, the trash collection. You know, sometimes new is hard to get over the hump, to take on a new process and a new procedure. We've all been there. First day of school, maybe being a teacher or whatever. But I think the study sessions would be great. We could ask questions. We could find out what we need to know. With staff, I know April's a wealth of information, as is Mr. Daly. And then the committee of the whole, everybody could be on the committee. There's only 6 of us. And we could just get down and just talk about what about this and what about that. We don't like this, but do you like that? And maybe we could come to some type of agreement and work as a team. And you are our team leader. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay, thank you.
Will you be our leader and get us cohesion?
I'm not going to acquiesce necessarily to what you're requesting, but I'll certainly read it again.
Oh, I think it makes a lot of common sense.
I'm sure you do.
But then I hear
That's why you're answering.
common sense isn't very common anymore. But I thank you so much for listening.
Hearing nothing else, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? So moved. Thank you all.